you guys, welcome to Talk with Tiff TV. I'm so excited that you guys decided to join us on tonight. I am Tiffany Bless Thomas, and tonight on the show we're going to talk about have God promised you anything? Last week we talked, I shared with you guys, I told you that I wanted God I told God that I wanted to live my life out loud, that I wanted to be a living testimony or whatever, and I wanted to show people through my life how real He was. As you guys know, or if you haven't known, I am a woman of faith. I've been living basically off of faith for the past, I'll say about 5-6 years. Is when I first started my journey by living off faith. But God taught me throughout that process, you guys, how to trust Him and how to just not depend on nobody else. So I did that. Of course, God tested me throughout that whole process, and I'm still being tested throughout that process. And it is challenging. You're going to have many challenging days and moments or whatever, but at the end, it's really worth it. I am not going to be before y'all too long on today. Set my timer. Okay. All right. So have God promised you guys anything? This is the perfect moment. We're at the beginning. Of a new year. And a lot of us have been promised things from God that we're still waiting for them to come to pass. Well, I said that, with me being a woman of faith, that I was going to set myself up to receive my blessings and everything it is that God has promised me. So I want to encourage you guys, as I said before, like this show is just basically about me living my life out loud. Me sharing with you guys, my process and the things that I trust God for. And me literally just stepping out on faith, doing things and setting myself up for the things that God has already promised me, or for the things that I have put before God and I want Him to do. So this year, I decided that I was going to not only just pray my promises to pass, but I was going to set myself up. I was going to put myself in a position to receive everything it is that God has promised me. So like if God promised you maybe a car, or God promised you a house, the best thing for you to do is to set yourself up to receive that blessing. Don't wait to get the blessing to prepare yourselves for it, if that makes sense to you guys. So I said that I was going to, write my goals down, which I encourage you guys to do the same. Write your goals down for this year. Don't be so, let me see, how can I say this? Don't be scared to ask God for anything. Whatever it is that you want Him to, do for you, write it down, put it before Him. Don't just say it, but write it down, put it in your face, somewhere where you can look at it every day, to where you can remind yourself every day to pray that prayer through. But not only just pray it through, pray that promise through. Not only just pray that promise through, but also set yourself up to receive that, that promise. If God promised you a new car, set yourself up to receive that new car. Make room for that car or whatever. It's just all about acting on that promise. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. There are things that God has promised me, and I can't wait to show you guys, and to be able to tell you guys my testimony, how some things have came to pass where I have set myself up to receive those blessings. Matter of fact, I'll share something with you guys. Let me see. Yeah, okay, I got time. I'll share something with you guys. Okay, so throughout, last week I told you guys that God transitioned me with nothing. So when God transitioned me with nothing, me and my kids, we stayed in a extended stay. So I stayed in that extended stay for about 7-8 months. Okay. Well, I told God I wanted a house. So when the pandemic first started, not when the pandemic first started, actually right before the pandemic started. I was in prayer and I heard God say, tell me what you want in a house. Well, I had never asked God for a house up until he like put me in an uncomfortable place where it was. So I had to say, well, God, you know what, this is uncomfortable for me. I want something bigger. I want something better. So I stayed at that extended stay for about 7 months. God blessed me. He gave me so much favor when we transitioned throughout that process. So right before the pandemic, God told me to tell him what I wanted in the house. Well, I sat down and I was like going back and forth, and I was like, well, I'll do maybe like a 3-bedroom house, or, you know, that'll be enough. I'll just start off with that. So I kept hearing God say, no, tell me what it is that you really want in your house. So I'm like going back and forth. So I went from a 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom. Then I thought about it and I was like, well, that's not going to be enough or whatever. And I was like, I need something extra. So if I have company over, or like I need a guest room or whatever. So to make a long story short, I went up to a 5-bedroom house. Okay. And I just wrote it down. I wrote it down. I went into prayer about it. That was that one time. But I heard God so strong in him asking me what it was that I wanted in like what it is that I wanted him to do. And how many bedrooms and what it was I wanted in my house when I got it or whatever. Well, right after that, let me see, that was 3 months later, I'll say about 3-4 months later, I ended up getting a house. Okay, and the house was basically like given to me. I didn't even qualify for the house. So this is how I know like prayer and like being where you're supposed to be, and like how the promises of God and just him being so faithful. And if he say he's gonna do it, he's really gonna do it. So about 3 to 4 months, I'll say about 4 or 5 months, 4 to 5 months later, okay, a house was basically just given to me. Okay, I was approved for a house that I did not qualify for. Matter of fact, they told me that I didn't qualify for it. And after they told me that I did not qualify for it, I received a phone call like a few minutes later, and they told me that I was approved. Well, I knew that there was nobody. I knew that that was nobody but God. Let me tell y'all, I had not even seen the house before I even got it. Somebody kept like saying, I got a house for you. I have a house for you. And I was just, I was like, okay, yeah. I was kind of like brushing it off or whatever. Well, I told God not only how many bedrooms I wanted and what all I wanted in my house, but I actually gave him a date that I wanted. The time frame that I wanted to be moved in the house. Well, God blessed me with all of that and more. I picked up my keys to the house, and just like I had told God, I wanted a 5-bedroom house, a 2-car garage, I'm sorry. So just like everything I asked God for, it came in my house, and way less than what I was expecting to pay for it. But he gave me so much favor, to the point where like I even told my kids, like when we picked up the key to the house, they was running through the house and they was like screaming, thank you God, because like that was nothing but favor, and then the crazy thing is, like, now that I didn't believe God for this 5-bedroom house, now I want God to do something bigger and better, which I know he is. So I can just go on and tell you guys like how much, God has favored me, and how I just stepped out on faith. How he'll put people in place to bless you or whatever. I did not see this house until I got the keys to this house. And I'm thinking when I got the keys to the house that it was just a 4-bedroom. So I was like, well, they told me that it was a 4-bedroom, but when I got the keys to the house, the lady told me, she said, oh no, it's a 5-bedroom house. So exactly everything that it was that I asked God for, he gave it to me and then some. So I just want you guys to like join me this year, like especially in the beginning of this year, just set your faith out there, set you some goals, ask God whatever it is that you want him to do for you. because he's a promise keeper. He'll do it. Like, don't put a limit on. I kept trying to put a limit when I was asking God for certain things. I kept trying to put a limit on God, and I heard Him say, like, stop limiting me. Tell me what it is that you want. So don't be afraid to ask your Father what it is that you want. And you guys, y'all just stay focused. Stay prayerful. I told you everything you need is in house. You have everything, like whatever it is that you want to start, your business off with, or you sitting around and you just trying to, say, well, God gonna make a way. Well, what are you doing for Him to make that way? Don't just sit around and wait on Him. Like, position yourself to receive what it is that you have asked God to do, whatever. So that's one of my testimonies that God had showed me, and I'll continue to share, each week, a testimony or whatever, or how it is that I have trusted God throughout these years, that since I've said yes to God, and He has kept every one of His promises. He has not failed me, and I can tell you guys this. People always tell you it's a certain way, for you to do certain things, and yeah, it may be a certain way for you to do it, but I can just tell you, I can only share my testimonies with you guys and tell you, what it was that I did to, like, encourage you guys to maybe step out on faith and you do something. You don't want to be in the same position you were in last year. I know I don't. So I'm believing God for something way bigger and something way better and more. So set yourself up to receive more. If He promised it to you and He has said it, He has spoken it, like, prepare yourself to receive it. I don't care how long it takes for you to get it, but prepare yourself for you to receive everything it is that, God has promised you. So that's it for tonight, you guys. Thank y'all for joining me. We'll be back live again next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll make sure I put the link up, and follow me on Instagram to keep up with everything that we're doing throughout the process of us getting the Talks with Tiff TV show. And that's it. I love you guys. Thank y'all for y'all support, and I'll be back on next Monday at 9 p.m.